So good morning. Maybe by show of hands, let me know whether people can see me. Good. Thank you very much. Karibuni sana. On behalf of NACOSTI, allow me to welcome you to today's session. This is about the performance contract 2022-2023 for MDS, and under the 19th cycle of the PC guidelines, there's a target on mainstreaming science, technology, and innovation as part of the core mandate to all ministries, departments, and agencies. Therefore, in attendance, right now we have over 100 officers. We have the focal persons, we have the champions, we have the PC coordinators, and all other interested officers from the institutions, because we try to reach as many officers as possible. So today we shall mainly focus on quarterly reporting, but maybe before we start, I request each of those in attendance to type in the chat. You just type your name and your organization. And then as they make the presentation, if you have any question or comment, we encourage you to use the Q&A session. So without wasting much more time, allow me to welcome my colleague, Mr. Cyrus Kamau, to take us through the reporting tool. Karibu, Cyrus.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate. Maybe one thing to inform them as we begin is that we will have to take a screenshot maybe before the end of the presentation and take a roll call register. So I hope Ezekiel can prepare that for me as I present. So karibu and good morning, everyone. I'll begin by sharing my screen. And starting with the basics of the presentation. The presentation will only focus on the aspect of the quarter reporting, and that means the reporting tool. So, and I'll start from the basic element of the NACOST website. So, the reporting tool, you're going to find it in the NACOST website. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we said for you to access within the NACOST website, there is a menu bar on top where you are able to access. Within the menu, there is a place for PC reporting, or you can still scroll down where there is a performance contracting for ministries and departments. So if you click that link, it will take you to where we have the first Q1 reporting tool for science, technology, and innovation. Okay, thanks. So from the menu, I said you click on PC for MDA reporting, it will take you directly to this page. So this page has all the resources required for the quarterly reporting and for the annual reporting and of the indicator. So we have on your extreme left Q1 reporting tool, which I will address, and quickly maybe say other resources that are available. Cumulative reporting templates, summary of STI mainstreaming. Then there is the work plan. There is a template to which you can use for the work plan. There is a template for those who are developing institutional strategy, and they're asking, where do you get the template for the STI strategy? You get it from that link. Then there is a guide on how to develop the STI strategy. It can also be downloaded from that link. Then responsibilities of focal persons and STI champions, a common question that comes along. So what's the role of the STI champion? What's the role of the focal persons? So there are documents to guide what's the role of the focal person and the champion. And last but not least, we have the list of institutions implementing the cycle. So which is also available from the reporting tool. So from there, you're able to move to, allow me to move to the link of the reporting tool. Because of the screen changes, I have to unshare and then share again. So once you click the link for the reporting tool, it will take you to this window. I hope it's visible now. I think switching of the web pages could have that issue of being visible. So the same instructions that are given in the website are given in this reporting tool, just for easy. But we are saying you download and fill the tables where applicable. So it will depend in what areas that are applicable to your case. So for that case, we have the tables and we have the evidences. The evidences should be in PDF format. There are 10, but we are saying they also where applicable. You may find that in some cases, these evidences are not. Like now, if you have not done the work plan, then number 4, Roman 4 here, approved STI strategy signed by the CEO, you will not be able to approve because your target for this year will be to develop the work plan. So from there, once you're able to click this window, for purposes of ensuring CRORAS from entering data in your form, just click I'm not a robot, and you're able to move next. So the next now starts now the process. So it's divided into 4 parts. The first part is compulsory for all MDS because all ministries, departments, and agencies have to provide the institutional details. So you provide, click the institution. If you're not sure whether the institution is a SAGA or a state corporation or under university categories, this blue link will take you to that level and you'll be able to see whether it falls under that level. Then you can select, if you're quite aware of where your state department or agency falls under, you just click this category and possibly select within the category. So if you are under university and university colleges, you select that. If you're a state corporation or a semi-autonomous government agency, you click that option, then you click next. So once you click next, the categorization has institutions in them. So if you selected for state corporation and semi-autonomous government agency, the list of all, I think 287 or so, numbers of state agencies that are reporting, you'll get your institution here, unless the institution was established within this year. So if you are in last year's reporting agency, definitely you'll find your institution falling within the categories that have already been set up and have already been put into this collective aspect. So I'm able to select my institution and I'm able to click next. So the next required information is a institutional county headquarters. So if you are within a certain, if you have regional offices, then you are, for this purpose and case, you are able to select the headquarters of the institution. So if the institution is in Nairobi, that's county number 47. We just scroll down, sorry. We just scroll down to county number 47. You select your county headquarters. The title of the CEO or head of the institution. So there are titles there. We have tried to put all titles. If the title of the head of the institution doesn't apply, then you can say others specified. If it is within the list, select within the list and possibly put the head of the institution. Then after you fill there, you can click, you can scroll down to the button next. Then provide the details of the focal persons and champions who are coordinating the STI mainstreaming in your institution. So have you appointed an STI focal person? If yes, you can click yes and provide the details. If you haven't appointed, you click no, it will give you this advisory that if not, kindly expedite the appointment of focal persons before submitting the Q1 report. So that means that if the institution had not previously appointed a focal person, when they are submitting this quarter report, they should also come with the appointment letters of the focal person and champion. But if it's already existing, you can click yes, and you're able to put the details there. So there are some controls to ensure that the number does not go beyond that level. So if you're using a mobile number, it should be within the ranges of that's applicable within the Kenyan. So then the email address. then you are supposed to provide a copy of the appointment letter. This is the first part where you are getting the appointment. If you had downloaded the forms, so you can unzip and you extract. So it will give you the folder with the form. So the first evidence is the appointment of focal persons. So you attach the appointment letter of the focal persons. You select attach. You go to where your evidences have been packaged or you have stored them. And you put the appointment letter of focal person. Then the appointment letter will load. If you happen to put the long attachment, you can scroll this bar and delete. So the purpose of this bar, if it is not visible within the entire screen, you can scroll, delete if the attachment is wrong, and you can put in the correct attachment that you may need for that reason. And have you appointed STI champions? Have you appointed STI champions? If yes, sorry. Have some minor challenges with the internet, but I'm sorting it out as we go. So in this case, it has taken me back to start, although I had not saved, but I can still save again. I think it's a challenge of reconnecting. So I'll move quickly to the last part of what we have been able to select. Allow me to just pick arbitrary any that is here that maybe fall within the category of state corporations. Maybe I go to the counties. I may not be sure where Zoya Water is, but allow me to pick one of the counties that would fall into. Maybe I pick Kakamega, the head of the CEO, the title, the honorable, name of the CEO. James Doe. Then if you have appointed a focal persons, yes, provide the details. Email address. attach evidences. We said from there you appoint the letter for the focal persons. If you have appointed STA champions, if you say no, you are kindly told to expedite that process and you put it as part of Q1 reporting. So those who have not appointed in terms of Q1 report, you're able to have the appointment letter of champions. If you have, then you can attach the appointment letter of champions, STA champions that your institution has been able to put into place. So has it participated in trainings of focal persons and champions? If the answer is no, you can give the reason and make plans there of how you intend to train in the near future. Like for those who are getting into the target this year, possibly you can say there was not aware of any trainings, and that's why you are not trained. The fact that you're here, you are part of the training, so possibly you're able to select the options. So these are the number of trainings we have held in terms of STI mainstreaming. So if you are there last month's training, you're able to select that, and in August, then you're able to put next. So you have part 2, which involves development of the strategy. So have you developed the strategy? If the answer is yes, you are supposed to attach a copy of the strategy that has been developed. Approved strategy. If the answer is no, then it will become part of your target. So if your answer is yes, then you move to what you are calling a stream B. Stream B means that you have already developed. So this financial year, you're dealing with the implementation of that strategy. If your answer is no, you move to stream A. There is a link to the guide on how on the template on STI strategy that will guide you in developing one for this year. And then you fall under what you're calling stream A. So if you're within the process of developing the strategy and possibly you're in the initial phase, then you'll be working on stream A. And there is a link here. This link will take you to where I took you earlier in the website, where you get a template for the development of STI strategy. But if the answer is yes, then you have already developed the strategy. We anticipate that you're able to attach an STI signed by the CEO or the head of the institution as part of the evidence. So in stream B, you say what are the expected implemented in the last 5 years. So you anticipate you're going to upload, you identify 5 strategies, which from your own developed and approved strategy, which you intend to implement this year. So you can go within the forms. So if you have already identified which should be at the end of the first quarter, you're able to move to the evidences and you are able to select the at least 5. So, and you're able to upload that table that contains strategies that you intend to implement this financial year. So the same case, if you are not developed the strategy, then you're going to load table 1. These tables we have named for purposes of easier ranking. You will be able to upload table 1, which will guide you in what you are supposed to do in terms of developing strategy. So have you submitted an STI work plan? We already shared the work plan and it's already in the website and in the documents. So if you have already populated your work plan and identified activities for the work plan, you can be able to select and upload the work plan. Note there are some restrictions. The work plan should be in PDF. So the one that we shared with you is in Word for purposes of the editing. So by the time you come to upload your work plan, make sure you store it as a PDF format. Otherwise, if it's not in the PDF format, it will not upload here. Note this is a compulsory document. So basically you may need, or you will need to upload it in a PDF document. Then you have an, let me see whether I can allow me, I have an approved STI mainstreaming work plan. So if you already have an STI work plan, you're able to upload within this quarter reporting and you're able to click next. Then you have section A. You're supposed to provide this required information. Note that this information is for both those who are developing the strategy and those who have already developed and they're implementing. So there are some information that you've been requested about the staff establishment. Indicate the approved staff in the establishment. So if you have an establishment like a state corporation, let's say in a cost, you have an approved establishment of 189. Indicate the total number of in-post. That means this is the approved number of people your organization can have, the maximum number of staff. Currently, if you're not at the maximum level, possibly you are at an optimal level of 122. Then you'll be saying these are the people who are within the organization currently. Then indicate the total number of in-post staff who offer technical services. Or technical services in this case, you're saying are the core mandates. So if the core people performing who are responsible within the core mandate of the technical services, then at that point, maybe you are 18, you have 70 of the 122 who are responsible to conduct the core mandate. Then indicate the total number of in-post staff who are non-Kenyans. If you have expatriates working for your organization, and possibly you have 5 of them, then you indicate. If you don't have any expatriates, all of you are Kenyans working in the organization, then the answer is 0. So if you don't have any expatriates, then the total number of in-post staff who are non-Kenyans offering technical core services will also be 0. Because you're saying in total you have 0. You could have like 3 expatriates who are non-Kenyans working in your organization, who could be on staff exchange or such cases. Then possibly you could also be writing the number out of the 3, all of them supporting technical or core mandate. If they are, then you're going to indicate that as a total number there. Then provide a copy of the staff establishment. Give me a moment to go through the staff establishment. Allow me to just share that table. I think that's a new table that was not there last year. So within the tables that you have downloaded, I want to share that table because a question came up last time concerning the staff on what you should do about that table. So that table is in this nature. Let me share it up. It is of this nature. So we are not asking the names. We are just asking the positions within the organization. So if you have the CEO or the VC, if it's a university, then how many people are in post and how many current people who are supposed to be in that post. Like now you can say our organization has supposed to have 4 directors. Allow editing. We are supposed to allow me to share the window again, just closed. Sorry for that. So I've shared back. I hope it's visible from your side. So if you have position for directors, you're supposed to have 4 directors. So the current in post or the current number of directors are 2 and 2 are acting. So you only write the ones who are confirmed for that position. You don't put the ones who are acting to show the current in post for that position. So that one will tell you what the balance is. The variance will be automatically calculated. Maybe from your staff establishment, the deputy director should be 20. The ones that are in post are 12. So the table will automatically calculate for you the variance. So you don't have to type the last column. So it has already put a formula for you. So your work is to key in the data as per the establishment and those that are already appointed and have letters of appointment for that position. If you have assistant directors, maybe you need to, if it's the university, you're talking about 10 departments or 3 faculties, how many people are in that faculty and how many people are been given chairs of departments like that. So it will depend with the establishment, whether it's a saga or it's a public institution or a college, depending on the level of the institution, you'll be able to fill that. So allow me to just exit that and go back to my reporting tool. So that's just one of the tables that had some issues when you're asking, when you say a copy of the establishment, it's a PDL file. So there is that approved document of the total number who should be employed within the institution. That's a PDF file you're asking for. So when you're talking about the current in-post, that's the form I was just filling. And you go back to the tables and you take the table for table 3. So it's already indicated for you, attach a fully filled table 3. So once you fill table 3, you just upload it at that level where you're being asked the number of in-post staff. Then there is a table 4 on human resource. So this one is a table on the human resource at table 4. So if you have been able to fill table 4, you upload it. Then you're supposed to put the ratio of the proportion of those staff that are technical staff. That data is here. We already said the organization has 122 and the number of technical are 70. So that's the ratio that is able to be put here. You have 70 staff doing the core mandate. The total number of input staff is 122 from your entry. Then you're able to click save and you move next. So we have part B, research, technology, innovation, infrastructure, and equipment. So this is a table that is dealing with data on research and infrastructure. That's table 5 is indicated within the tables that we have shared with you. So once you populate the data, you come here and upload it as table 5. And you move next, you go to part C, you're dealing with research, science, technology, innovation, expenditure. So this one you're dealing with budgets. There is a table that's dealing with the budget for RSTI. You have that's table 6. You're able to populate table 6 on research and development expenditure. Then you're able to upload it. Then you're able to click next. It will take you to section D, which is requesting for inputs, RSTI inputs. So for RSTI inputs, there is a table 7, which you are able to populate on collaborative research. If you have any research programs that you're undertaking, just like the description above there is saying, you have a research program either with another institution or with the county government or with an NGO or with another state or with the ministry, any other aspects of collaboration in research, then you're able to put there all science or technology or innovation. Then you're able to click next. Section D, you deal with RSTI outputs. The table for RSTI outputs involves information to do with patents, trademark, utility models, commercialization, memorandum of understanding. So you have a table which you are supposed to fill because one is dealing with numbers. So you just enter numbers based on the entries. If you have any patents that have been done in this quarter, any publications in peer-reviewed journals, you just start enter that table here. So the table will contain a summary of the outputs. That's table 8. Then for purposes of evidence, as writing the number of publications that have been done, if there are 5, you do it in PDF. So this one will support the evidences of the table you put forward, because the first table is quantitative. So the evidences of that quantitative data in terms of numbers will be supported by the evidence in PDF. So if you go to the evidences, you will get an evidence of all documentary evidence of research, technology, and innovation outputs. So you expect to attach a PDF, which will be documentary evidence of these outputs that you have given in numbers in that table. So at that level, you're able to click next. It takes you to section F, which deals with dissemination and the last part of these sections. So if you have conducted any dissemination, there is a table 9. So it means that if you have been able to go to the trade fairs, if you have been able to do workshops, seminars, trainings, you have developed newsletters, flyers, pamphlets, brochures. So you put in this table, the table has been given some aspects of evidences, and you'll be able to attach table 9. So table 9 contains dissemination work that you have done on research, science, technology, innovation. Then you're able to click next. It takes you to what we call the intellectual property. If the institution, ministry, or department or agency has an intellectual property policy, then you say yes, you are supposed to attach that in IP policy. So if the answer is no, then you are supposed to ensure that you come up with mechanism that you develop within the given time to come up with an aspect of putting effects of having an IP policy in place within the relevant role. So if it's yes, you can attach that evidence in form of PDF, which is the IP policy. Then there is then the next one is to do with IP policy, research policy. If you have a research policy as an organization, you're able to click yes, and you attach the research policy. If the answer is no, then you're supposed to include the development of the policy within your work plan or RSTI strategy. So if it's yes, and you have the evidence of the research policy with you, you're able to select the research policy and attach it as part of the evidence. Then you're able to select next. So then you have what you call part 4, which is the last part, the institutional support and quality assurance system. So we are going to ask you, for you, if you are conducting some research, some surveys, some data collection methods that you are conducting, do you have some level of which the data that you are dealing with is able to you have as ISEC established? If you have an ISEC established, then you'll be able to select yes. So if you don't have, select no, and possibly you can say the mechanisms you are put into place. You can see there is a star there. So there was a question as you don't have an ISEC, but we have an affiliation with an existing ISEC when you're conducting data. So you just come here and type, we are affiliated to maybe, I'll give one, maybe Institute of Primate Research, because they have one. Then that means any research that you do,
just maybe a moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's just finish the poll. People are, those who are present, we just click the present and we continue. Just give them 30 seconds to finish.
Okay. There is a poll? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
For those who are present, just click present, then I think I will close the poll.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, so if you have yes, then you're able to select yes. Then you're able to provide the documentary evidence required. So we have a list of registered researchers. So there is table 10, which is dealing with the list of registered researchers within your tables of evidence. Then you're able to list, you're supposed to attach, populate that table 10 and attach. Then you have a list of postgraduate projects. These ones are universities and research institutions. So if you have postgraduate projects that you're undertaking, you can list the postgraduate project citations and theses that are ongoing, and you put them within that. Then you're able to click next. So for the purpose of the second part of institutional support system, this is not mandatory. It doesn't have a red star here like the rest. So these ones are for the institutions that you know they are conducting research on microorganisms and containment facilities. We know quite a few that are doing that. So we anticipate that when they submit the reports, they also submit this. And this one is based on what is written here on biological toxic weapons. So they have table, once they fill table 12, table 13, they're able to upload. Just come to containment facilities. Table 13 is dealing with the general description and scope of what they are dealing with. And then there is table 14, which is dealing with measures. Measures for control and mitigation, because they're dealing with threats that are biological in nature. Then they will be able to address the mitigations they are putting into place in that table and upload. So from there, you're able to say next. So if you have any relevant data that you may want to share from this exercise, you can type here. This is not mandatory. If you have nothing, you can leave it blank, then click next. So this is the last page of the tool. What you attach is a forwarding letter. So since you are doing your quarterly submissions, you need to have a forwarding letter from the CEO or from the accounting officer of the organization, and you are supposed to have it in PDF format. Then that letter confirming that you are forwarding for this Q1 report, you're able to attach that letter. So this one is going to come together with your documentary and documentary evidence that you have approved. So if you are complete, then you can be able to submit. If you have everything uploaded, but there are some tables that are not complete, there is this opportunity to save and continue later. So you can save and continue later. So at this point, it will give you an opportunity. Either you can store this or you can save this link. This link is unique. It's an encrypted link. It's unique to your application. So you can save it by sending it to your email. and it will save the status of your report. It tells you here your partial data is saved. So you have the partial data, and the link is automatically sent to you. So the moment you refresh, you are going to realize that that link goes to your email. So in case there is need to continue in the process, then you come back and you'll be able to click that link and you'll be able to continue. So like for me, it has already gone to my email. So I just need to click that. And when I click on it, it will tell me, do you want to populate afresh or do you want to continue from your last populated data? So it can continue from your last populated data, where you can now continue with the population. So before it goes back, I can say from there, it tells you it's partially saved. And possibly once you click and you're able to return back, you'll be able now to continue with the process. So you have this option. If you click return to where you left off, you start from where you left off. If you click here, you start from the beginning. That means all your uploads and all your attachments will be lost. So you from the partialist down survey. So you better click there and possibly. If there was some place back there that you had not completed, you can use the back to move backwards. And you can, to the level that you want to enter some extra, maybe you had something that you are not stated, then you can type. Then you can be able to move forward, next, and submit. So after that, there are no more evidences. You can see the bar tells you you are 100%. The tool is now 100% populated. You can submit. So once you submit, you're able to get that message. In case you have additional questions, you can go to PC at Naposti. And you have been told that your response have been recorded and received by the commission. So you have nothing to worry about. In case you would want to view your submission, you can click that link. That link will tell you to view your submissions. You can also view your submission and see whether there was something missing before you close. You can also save this document. You can download as PDF. You can click download as PDF. And you're also able to store for your records that you submitted the first quarter evidences. So when you say download as a PDF, it will download and store for you. So, and you'll be able to have a copy of that record. So Chair, I think, so continue and close the reporting tool. At that point, you're able to complete the exercise. Thank you, Chair. I think, I know I have been a little bit fast, but in case of any questions, committee is ready to take up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Silas. I hope the presentation has been useful to the participants. Given we still have a few more minutes, we may invite the participants, the ones who have raised their hands, maybe just to have their responses to the presentation. And Sami Mabele would be the first one. You unmute and then you ask your question. Just be brief. It seems we can't get him. Sami Mabele. John Aisi.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you very much for the presentation. Actually, it's very informative. I have just two small questions. Question one, if the letter for the focal person also bears the names of the champions, do we need to send letters of champions or that letter can suffice? And then number two is that when is actually the very last date of submitting quarter one reports? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being brief. Silas, I propose we get another one. Is Sam Mabele back?
Yeah, hello, Chair.
Hello, go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
yes,
we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the training. My question pertains the composition, the formation and composition of a scientific ethical review committee. Yeah, I understand in our institution we applied for the same last year and we haven't gotten feedback over the same. So in that case, what do we do? Do we just have to write that it's in the process, or what do we say?
Okay. Thank you. The next one is Martin Mwitireri. Go ahead. Mr. Martin Mwitireri. You can get him. Pauline Karaoke.
Good morning, all.
Good morning. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. This is Pauline Karaoke, the coordinator.
Pauline, we are losing you. Pauline, we have lost you.
Am I now okay? Is it okay for now?
Yeah, continue.
I was just introducing myself. I'm the coordinator Nyandarua Research and also the focal person. Now, I have two questions. One, where do you get the forwarding letter from the accounting, for the accounting officer, that is the chief principal? Is the letter on those on your website so that we print and take it to him to sign and then we upload it? The other question is I would like to have a personal, not a personal, but a one-on-one conversation with one of your officers because I happen to have a very new committee. I'm also new, so I would want more trainings. So kindly provide me with any of your officers' number on my email. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pauline. Next one is Frederick Samuel.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the presentation. Mine is about more elaboration of ISAC. Is it applicable to all MDAs about the ISAC, ISERC? Thank you very much.
Then there is Zipporah. Zipporah Beirut. Perez Masinde.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, Zipporah first. Zipporah, go ahead. Zipporah. Sorry, we are having a technical challenge. Zipporah, can you unmute Zipporah?
Hata yaka isikiki sasa.
Zipporah,
we can hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nai?
Yeah, ongea.
Yes.
Nakusikia.
Mute tu kwanza.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. We can hear you. Zipporah?
Hata sisikii sasa.
Tunakusikia Zipporah.
Kuna kitu uliklik huku.
Sasa hiyo ilikuwa nini?
Okay, let's go to Perez Masinde.
Thank you, sir.
Continue.
We can't hear you, Perez.
I've unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we can
go
hear you
ahead.
now.
Yeah, kindly, is it possible for us, our institution, that is Bushangala Technical, for us to have maybe a more direct contact of someone from Nakosti, where we can be able to consult, because I'm also like entirely new plus we don't would I even say we don't have a committee in place, so that we'll be able to inquire just before we go on with what we need. We need just a contact. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we be able to get Zipporah back? No, not yet. Florence?
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, go ahead.
Mine is on table 10. Now, KEMRI being a registered research institution, do we still have to register the researchers as individual, or now we use our ethical review committee as an evidence for registration?
Yeah, thank you. Then we have Richard Kihara. As we wait, Grace Mitambo.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Do I go ahead?
Yes, go ahead, Grace.
Okay, I had two questions. One was on whether we can get a person to connect to, especially when we don't get communication. Like last Friday, we were to get a link. Our institution did not get a link to connect. So we were lucky to have this redone. So we are able to connect today. Then the next, was there a deadline for submission of the work plans?
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. We can go back to Zipporah. Can Zipporah be unmuted? It seems we are unlucky. Let's get Richard Kihara.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning. Go ahead, sir.
I think mine is just a copy paste of the right focal person that we can level on as a National Cancer Institute. Maybe I just also taking this opportunity to also thank the presenters and the NACOSTE at large. Over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I believe we have taken most of the questions. Is there one? Secretariat Ezekiel, do we still have somebody we have not talked to? Jones Aguata?
Yes, can I?
Yes.
Yeah. I am John Sagwata, the focal point for Machakos University. One, I would want to thank the presenter for that clear presentation. Number two, what's the deadline for submission of Q1 report? Then number three, in terms of champions and evidence, can one letter which appoints the focal point and has names of all the champions suffice in terms of evidence? Then thirdly, what if one has a challenge in terms of filling entirely the Q1 report and the deadline has elapsed? What happens? Thank you.
Okay, so for the remainder of the participants, unless if you have a different question from the ones which have been asked, I would request that maybe you lower your hand so that we only address the questions which have not been asked. Dr. Mudeng, you have a different question? Zipporah, you are still there? Incidentally, we are unable to unmute you. Maybe next time. I don't know.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, thanks. Karibu sana.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
actually the focal person at Kitale National Polytechnic, and also still new. So there is this IS whatever's committee which was supposed to be formed. So
Isaac.
yes, Isaac. So I don't know when they are going to be trained. The committee, because already they have actually constituted a committee. And then second is actually I was concerned about the deadline and maybe the person I can get in touch because I'm still barely new. I'm 2 months old in the office. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe members would agree with me. Let's pause it there so that we give the presenter time to respond to some of the issues. And then you can still pose the remaining questions to Q&A and we shall be able to have a personal response. Cyrus, there are very many, but you are equal to the task.
Thank you, Chair. I think I'll try. You help me. I think this one for the deadline, I think it has become a common concern of 15th. So I'll leave it to you to see how best you can address the members. But let me address the ones that deals with the issue of focal persons. Dr. John from Kaimosi. Yes, the focal persons letter can be used twice. If it's one appointment for the champion and the focal person. So what happens is some organizations have different methodologies. You can attach the same letter moving forward so that when you come, have you appointed a focal person? Appoint that letter. Have you appointed the champions? Attach the same letter. There is no harm of that. So if the appointees and the CEO who is responsible, or whoever is responsible for the appointment, then that letter suffices. It can be attached to both. It serves a purpose. And it has been done, so it's not something new, and it's acceptable for that. Then there was Pauline from Nyandarua Research. Yeah? A letter of submission. Letter of submission is a letter that you give to your CEO. We don't have a template. If you get the templates that I'm using here, they're just blank. They're just blank PDFs because every organization have their way of which they write their letter. So, and it can be as short as 1 or 2 paragraphs saying, written to the DG, Nakosti, PO Box 3623 Nairobi. Then that's the reference, forwarding of first quarter report. Then he says, kindly receive the first quarter report together with the relevant indicative evidences for the STI mainstreaming. Yours, so-and-so, principal, Nyandarua Research. So it's just a letter which the institution can write just to show that the CEO is aware that this quarter is being reported. And possibly some CEOs would like to see the evidences. So for that case, they may say, can you first bring the tables? Can you first bring the evidences that you have? And he or she confirms that the evidence are in order before she does that letter. Then there was Fred Samuel, applicable to, is ISAC applicable to all MDAs? No, it's not applicable to MDAs. This one is when you are dealing heavily with research, and that's universities and research institutions. So if your institution is not heavily on research, then you can look for affiliation. What we are saying in principle, ensure that the research you are conducting has undergone ethical review. So for you to undergo ethical review, you can either do it by having an ISAC within your institution or affiliating with already existing ISAC, which will do now for you the review of that policy. So I hope I've been able to answer Frederick. The other one was Zipola, is saying they are new, relatively created. The issue of deadline, I'll leave it to the chair to respond. I think we need to address this issue of ISAC, and it's a common thing, but I still insist. If you're principally a university or a research institution, it is recommended that you have an ISAC. If you're not heavily in conducting research, if you're not doing like an average of 20, 30, 40 proposals for research in a year, maybe you are doing 2 or 3, then look for an affiliation. But if the number of research that you undertake, either as a research institution or an agency or a ministry, then you should start working out to have your own institutional scientific and ethics review committee. Perez Masinde, Shingalala, I think you are not wrong. New entry, I think the issue was the same. I think the one that was from Florence Bong. on KEMRI, ethical review committees. So registration of researchers is based on that the researchers are already registered, and possibly from your institution, you have a category of how you deal with the researchers. So there are others that have gone into higher levels, and they are maybe members of other agencies in terms of registration, or Academy of Sciences, or such kind of registrations. That's what you're saying, that their membership to that. So possibly what I would put forward is, to make it easier, is registration of maybe professional bodies that are scientific in nature. So I know NACOSTI is in the way of working out a common formula for Kenyan researchers, but it's still within the preliminary starting phase. So I may not comment much about that, but it's something that NACOSTI is pursuing, to work with maybe the Kenya National Academy of Sciences to ensure that researchers are at least, there is a common way of which we recognize researchers, either by saying he's a research associate, he's a research fellow, he's a research assistant, so that we have common terms that can cut across when it comes to registration of researchers. However, if there is a format of which you register researchers in your organization, in your university, in your research institute, in your center of technology, just provide the details as they are registered. Then you'll be able to see how that one informs moving forward. I think Richard Kehara was doing a comment on the Cancer Research Institute. Then there was John Sagwata. He was asking about the deadline. And I think the champions and the focal persons have answered from Machakos University. I don't know whether there's any other comment that I have left. Maybe the panels and the members can also assist in that. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Silas, for the responses. I think first there's the aspect of the guidelines, and from the PC guidelines, we expect you to have submitted your report by 15th. You have 8 days. Of course, we know there may be a few challenges, but let's strive, because one of the aspects is that what is the consequence of submitting on time? Of course, you lose marks. And the easiest thing is for you to start working on those forms, and then you'll be able to submit. There is the question of some tables not opening. Kindly drop NACOSTI an email, and we have contacts. There's the PC at NACOSTI, there is the DG at NACOSTI, and then we'll be able to share those tables as soon as possible. The aspect of ISAC, as it has been mentioned, is not mandatory for all the institutions, but what is important is for you to have some of your members trained on matters ethics. And then where you don't have, you just say you don't have. You don't lose marks for saying that you don't have. As regards registration of researchers, it is through those institutional scientific ethics review committees. If you don't have, you still just state as it is, because we are actually establishing the status. When it comes to development of the science, technology, and innovation strategy, you are free to write to NACOSTI, and then you would have one or two of our team members. Already we have a template, but we can still have that personalized approach. And then for the ones maybe who had the challenges with joining, we are sorry about that. But before the end of today, or latest tomorrow, we shall share the recording of this engagement. We strive to be there for all the participants, and we shall share this recording. And if there is anything else, you can be able to communicate to us. Our apology, we have gone beyond the 1 hour we had set for the meeting. And allow me on behalf of NACOSTI to wish all the members a good day, because some of you, I know you joined the meeting on time, and we would like to keep that. And hopefully next time we'll be able to get more. So if you have any other concern, kindly consult with us directly. All the questions posted on Q&A will be answered. We wish you a blessed Friday and a blessed weekend. Thank you very much.